Go ahead.
So don't.
I got a back problem. Don't rip me out.
I'm not trying to do that. So come on out. Come on out. We'll explain it to you.
We're gonna tell you, dude. Come on, step out of the car.
Let me go.
No, I'm not letting you go.
Bro, let me go,
This is your last chance, man.
No.
Get the fuck out.
Get out.
Get out of the car. Get on the ground. Get on the ground.
Oh, mother. Man, y'all get me.
It's on the porch still. Hey.
Blackmail was a hand on the package. He's been pacing around.
Hey guys, just wanted to jump in here with a quick verbal annotation. Firstly, I was calling the Summerville Police Department in regards to an event that took place on August 20th of 2020 involving Timmy Miles and multiple officers. I was going to express some concern and ask some questions directly with the agency to see what they had to say about it. Secondly, I did call their primary phone number. When you call their primary phone number, the automated system gives you a couple options as to what you're trying to do. I selected option 1, which is to report a crime. I did make a phone call and go through this automated process on the 18th of May, and I actually spoke to this same dispatcher that I spoke to yesterday on the 19th, and our phone conversations were actually terrible. And as you'll see from the conversation that I had from yesterday on the 19th, the associate actually just hangs up on me, and then I do call back about a minute later, get the same associate, but now she's trying to change her identifier. She goes from operator 7 to operator 3, but we can very clearly tell it's the same individual if you just listen to the audio. Pretty much we had our little conversation. I didn't actually provide any information, but about 5 minutes after the second time I called back, I did get a phone call from a lieutenant out of Summerville Police Department. I do apologize in advance. At this point, I wasn't expecting a call back, so by the time I was able to start recording our conversation, I missed out on recording his name, so I don't have his name. I forget his name. I don't think that's entirely relevant to the point of the video that I'm making. What's more relevant to me, before I make this point, in that conversation that I have with this lieutenant, I did make one little mistake in what I was saying. I was under the impression that Doug Wright was the police chief back in August of 2020. I just went to the Summerville Police Department and read up on their chief of police. I saw right here it says he joined in 1997. So I just made the foolish mistake of thinking that he was the chief of police that whole time. I mean, he looks to be a younger guy, so obviously he couldn't have been. But that's not entirely relevant. The chief of police at the time was John Rogers. So I just wanted to make that quick update. I don't think it's really relevant. What I do think is relevant is the conversation that me and the lieutenant had and the information that he provided back to me. I think you guys are going to find it very interesting and very valuable in the short conversation that we had. But I'll stop rambling. That's really all I wanted to say. Thanks for clicking on the video. Hope you enjoy.
The Summerville Police Department. Please listen.
Wait while I transfer your call.
Summerville Police and Fire, Operator 7.
Hello, I'd like to report a crime.
Okay, what's the crime?
On August 20th of 2020, there was a conspiracy by...
Damn. You're not even doing it anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think it'll be the same chick?
Yeah, that's who I talked to yesterday,
Damn.
Operator 7. She recognized my voice. Are you recording right now?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see if she hangs up on me again.
The Summerville Police Department. Please listen carefully, as our menu options have changed. If this is an emergency, please
Wait while I transfer your call.
Summerville Police and Fire, Operator 3.
Operator 3?
Yes.
You sure you're not Operator 7?
No. Summerville Police and Fire, Operator 7. Summerville Police and Fire, Operator 3.
Okay. Let me, is there a supervisor there or a lieutenant?
I can have him call you. What's your name?
My name is Jimmy.
And a good phone number for you?
There is no phone number. I need to speak to somebody right now, though.
Okay. I can enter a call and have him call you.
Do you remember me? I think we talked yesterday. That's not going to suffice. I need to talk to somebody right now.
Okay. Jimmy, can I get a phone number for the lieutenant to call you back?
I'm not interested in providing any information. I would like to speak to the lieutenant right now.
Okay. Well, if you do not need assistance, then I'm going to disconnect the call, sir.
Well, I appreciate you warning me this time before you hung up, like 2 seconds ago when I called the first time. But
Okay.
that
was not me, but
okay. Well, it's your police department.
That is how it works. The lieutenant is not available right now, so I can either take your phone number and name, or I'm going to disconnect the call.
All right. Do you personally know Doug Wright?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right. Are you under the impression that your organization is committing a crime by lying?
Okay, I'm disconnecting the call now.
All right. Yeah, they're an embarrassment. I talked to her yesterday, and she hung up the phone immediately. So we're just gonna continue to pester them until I speak to somebody who is willing to pass me along to a lieutenant. Hello. I was trying to report a crime, and one of your associates was refusing to accept the information or pass me along to somebody who would, and I guess that's why you're calling me back.
Yeah. What kind of crime?
Oh, I believe the crime would be identified as conspiracy.
Okay.
Yeah, it was back on August 20th of 2020.
Okay.
Does that date sound familiar at all to you, or?
August 20th?
Of 2020, yes, sir. How about the name? How about the name Timmy Miles?
Okay. What can I help you with that?
I asked a question. I believe. Do you know what I'm referring to, or?
Is it the incident with Officer Berno?
I believe there was a couple of officers involved.
Okay. So what can I do for you?
Oh, I was calling to see if everybody involved in that, like what's going on as far as disciplinary actions, because these kinds of things, they don't happen on a personal level. It wasn't just one officer who decided to do this. It was essentially your whole squad or team. So I was calling to see, is this a common practice, or?
Okay, first of all, it's not a common practice. Second of all, that case was turned over to the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division for their investigation, since it involved one of our officers.
Right, but it's not just one of your officers, right? It's multiple officers.
Hold on. The entire investigation, everything that took place out there, all the body camera footage, all the report, all that was turned over to SLED. SLED does their investigation and found that there was probable cause to issue a warrant for Officer Berno's arrest. They're the ones that...
Did he coordinate that, or who coordinated the whole thing? Because these things don't happen in a vacuum, right? You don't get this many officers. The event. Who gave that unit permission to do what they were doing?
Okay. How about this? Let's do this. Okay, and make it even simpler for you. Because I think you called last night.
I did.
Okay, and this is the same person I talked to last night.
No, I talked to the same operator, I'm sure, that passed you on. I did not talk to anybody besides that single operator yesterday, and this is my first time having any callback.
Okay, so how about this? So I can document our interaction in a report. Can I get your name, address, and phone number?
Here's the thing. I'm not calling to be filed into a report. I'm looking for information with your police agency, and I have...
If you want information with our police agency, you can call tomorrow between 9 and 5 o'clock and asked to speak to our public information officer. Okay, the case was turned over to SLED, the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, for their investigation.
Interesting. I appreciate the information. Were you at all involved in that, or?
No, sir, I was not.
Okay, so the question that I asked earlier was, do you know who okayed such a thing? Wouldn't that be Doug Wright, or?
Well, the chief of police at the time was not Doug Wright. The chief of the police at the time was not Chief Wright, who is our current chief.
Okay.
Okay, and just so you know, okay, do you know anything about police work?
Yes.
Okay, what's your experience in police work?
I'm not sure how that's relevant to what I'm asking right now.
No, it is, because the conversation is going to go...
Okay, if you're asking that question, how common do you see in other lines of police work, as you call it, where they are setting up booby traps and insinuating when they pull over somebody, they're insinuating in their voice, they're trying to ruin a man's life? How often do you see that by other police officers?
Okay, we don't set up booby traps.
What would you call a box full of narcotics dropped in front of an apartment complex?
A box full of narcotics that somebody possibly...
Who is that? I'm sorry, you're not answering my question. Is that not a booby trap, or what would you call that?
It's not a booby trap. Do you know that's not a booby trap?
What would that be called?
I've got over 23 years military experience as well. That definitely is not a booby trap.
Okay, well, what would you call it?
Okay, here's what it's called. Okay, you have people that buy drugs from all over the country. They have them shipped through the mail. Okay?
What does that have to do with a man? Let's assume that he picked up that box and he doesn't know what's in the box. Okay? So let's assume you caught the man with the box and now there's drugs in it. Would you insinuate that he got those drugs mailed to him and now you try to write him up for that, or?
I know what you picked up over there, okay?
What I picked up?
Yeah.
No, it's called that we do an investigation.
An investigation into what? There was no crime committed. There was a trap set up.
Here's what we're going to do, okay? Because I'm not going to debate this with you. I mean, we've been dealing with this for 2 days now, and I am 99% sure you are the same person that I spoke to last night.
Sir, I'm telling you, I did not talk to you yesterday.
Okay, well, you sound very familiar, and
okay.
What can you? I think you know what, for somebody that wants to ask questions about things, they won't provide their name, and if they want to file a complaint,
Sir,
so here's what I'm going to do.
Sir, before you proceed, let me just defend myself briefly. Let me, please.
You're not defending yourself anything. I'm not going to sit here and debate with you about our practices here.
That's fine.
If you would like to talk about the incident, you can talk to our public information officer 9 to 5 tomorrow. Or you can contact the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division about the investigation, request a Rule 5 for all their information, and they will give you what they can. Other than that, I am not going to debate what took place almost 2 years ago.
All right. And before we end the call here, I would just like to say, I was trying as hard as I can to be professional in this conversation. And yes, I did not give you guys any information, but that's merely because I'd like to remain anonymous in this call.
Okay, well, yes, you know what? And I have tried to explain to you the procedures for if you want information on this case, you can contact our public information officer, or if you want to request a report of findings, you can call the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, and they will let you have whatever is public record.
That is absolutely fine, and we can go ahead and end the phone call now. I appreciate the call back, okay? That's it. I think I stumped him. I think he hit a point where he realized what I was trying to get at, what I'm insinuating, and he had to change the subject multiple times, but at least he called me back, so we'll give him credit where credit is due.
All right, guys, that's it. I do want to end the video here by saying I legitimately am concerned that what was going on in this incident was a conspiracy. Let's look at the definition of conspiracy here. A secret plan by a group to do something unlawful or harmful. The action of plotting or conspiring. In criminal law, conspiracy is an agreement between two or more persons to commit a crime at some time in the future. So what I was saying to the lieutenant, in order to coordinate this many officers, you know, where they drop off a box, they have what are referred to as snipers by the guy, the main officer that got fired. In the video, he's referring to sniper team, even though I doubt they're with rifles, but I'm sure he means spotters.
Yep. We got lookers.
That's why he kind of backs up and says spotters in the video. But you have spotters. There was like 3, 5, I don't know how many officers there were with masks on there, but there's at least a dozen guys there that are involved in this, and you don't get that many officers involved unless there's permission from the chief. And it just begs the question, how long have these kinds of incidents been going on? How many people have been affected by things like this? And unfortunately, or I guess fortunately, in this circumstance, we have the officer's perspective of essentially them conspiring, you know, saying that the package wasn't picked up. Then the officer is trying to get a canine to get probable cause after the fact to say that, oh yeah, there was actually drugs in the car or whatever. And yeah, it turns out that they found an empty bag that supposedly smelled like marijuana. Oh, congratulations, guys. Yeah, you're totally justified in everything up to that point, right? No, I'm being facetious, obviously. But yeah, guys, I legitimately think that everybody involved from the top down, including the chief, needs to be prosecuted for conspiracy. What would have happened if I think his name was Timmy, right? If Timmy picked up that box and it was in the car, what would have happened? Because you could already tell by the first officer's tone that if they found drugs in the car, they would insinuate in their report that he knew that there were drugs in that box, right? And they would be ruining that man's life. They'd be trying to ruin that man's life, which to me is a conspiracy. So everybody from the Chief John Rogers, I'm sorry, they all need to be prosecuted and investigated to see if this has happened in the past. That's my 2 cents, guys. If you do have any questions for me or you'd like to use any of my audio, please just shoot me a YouTube message or leave a comment. I will definitely respond. Thank you for your time. Have a good day.